So some very unfortunate news that we happened to hear on Tuesday, April 2nd. Fleet fans, or any fans of the Alliance of American Football, also known as the AAF, it appears that the league has ceased all football operations, at least at this point in time. So what does that mean? The Alliance of American Football was co-founded between Bill Polian and Charlie Ebersol. Basically, they sought out to have a spring football league, not one that would necessarily rival the NFL, but almost be like a complement, like a spring football, during the off season of the NFL, and provide, pro football entertainment year round. And in the last year, we found out the cities that they would be playing in, the team names and colors, some of the roster moves, and here we are. Now, a lot of you guys may have heard the rumors after week 2. And that rumor was that the league was failing and was in financial turmoil and was struggling to make payroll. Now, we've since found out that none of that was true. There was a hiccup with payroll, but I guess for lack of a better explanation, there was literally a glitch in the system of the payroll company that the AAF used, and players just didn't get paid on time. That's pretty much it. At the same time, they did receive a large investment commitment from one Tom Dundon, from owner of the NHL's Charlotte Hurricanes, I believe it is, who committed $250 million of his own money, $70 million of that right away, and basically promised in an entirety $250 million, and basically became the AAF's largest investor and essentially control owner. He was named chairman of the board. But interesting fun fact that I found out, and this is according to CBSSports.com, is that he was the chairman of a board that consisted of one person. So he was the board of directors, meaning he basically controlled the league. Fast forward, there have been 7 weeks of football that have taken place in the Alliance of American Football, and heading into week 8 with the playoffs just on the horizon, Tom Dundon has essentially declared, you know what? We're ceasing all football operations, shut it down, it's over. So because the league is shut down, everyone's trying to figure out why. Like, why? Was the league in financial trouble again? Was the league not able to sustain itself? Was it just bleeding money out and just needed to be cut off right now before it gets any worse? And everything that I'm reading is saying that the league had the funding, especially with Mr. Dundon's investment. The league had the money and the funds and the resources to stay running for not only the rest of this season, but next season and maybe 2 to 3 years after that. I mean, a lot of people involved working either within the league or with some of these teams in different positions were guaranteed some sort of, job stability, at least for 2 to 3 years. I read it in an article that some people did refer to Mr. Dundon's investment as a godsend, because it was something that was a loose end that wasn't quite figured out with the league, and now we don't have to worry about the liquidity of cash flow and assets for at least the foreseeable future. And granted, you gotta assume that they were prepared to, lose money at least in the first or second years of the league while they gain and grow popularity and get people aware of the league and get more eyeballs watching and more fans in the seats. And it seems like it's more of a everything was fine and business as usual, and then all of a sudden even those involved with the league are just as shocked and astonished and taken by surprise as we are on the outside looking in. So there's this big cloud of speculation of what exactly happened. I'm going to go ahead and quote Bill Polian, who spoke of this matter yesterday. I am filming this on April 3rd, so everything took place yesterday. I'm extremely disappointed to learn Tom Dundon has decided to suspend all football operations of the Alliance of American Football. When Mr. Dundon took over, it was the belief of my co-founder, Charlie Ebersol, and myself that we would finish the season, pay our creditors, and make the necessary adjustments to move forward in a manner that made economic sense for all. Again, it really looks like Mr. Dundon, who kind of took control of everything, jumped in and made the executive decision, and nobody really knows why or was on the same page as him. One thing I am kind of gathering, and I'm hearing mixed things where he does have access to it, doesn't have access to it. The AAF developed a very robust and advanced sports app, not only keeping track of scores and plays, but almost had real-time player movement built in. You could literally go into the app, and instead of seeing like a little field, lines arcing and going this way for passes and running and stuff like that, you could actually see like a little field with like actual real-time player movement on the field. It was pretty next level, actually. It was pretty cool. On top of that, they did have like a little like mini game built into the app where you could kind of like predict, you know, is it going to be a run play, a pass play, a run to the left, a run to the right? And you would score little points that really didn't mean anything, but it was fun. It was fun to do during the games, you know? So what the assumption is that type of programming that was so advanced in real time could essentially be used for sports gambling, things like fantasy football, and you could essentially place bets on plays. It also had live streaming built into it, which isn't too far advanced, but it was kind of nice to be able to, I don't know, pick up and watch whatever live stream game that they kind of featured at that time. So the thought is that Mr. Dundon came along, invested all this money in this league, took control of it, shut it down because he didn't want to pay for the league or really didn't have any interest in really working with the league or advancing it, and trying to sabotage and take that intellectual property that is the Alliance of American Football app and use it for his own self-gain. Whether or not he's legally allowed to do that is kind of what's in question still. From what I've heard, there would be litigation that would determine whether or not he's allowed to do anything with that intellectual property, whether he actually has access or owns it now because he owned the league. It's kind of up in the air. Now let's talk about the crappy part about all of this. Imagine you're at work. Imagine you're at this new company. They've given you a great opportunity. It's something you've wanted to do and haven't had the chance to do elsewhere, and here it is. You're ready to go. More than ready to go, actually. You've been conducting business for weeks now. In the thick of things, working towards a goal with everyone around you, and you get an email that says, as of tomorrow, your services are no longer needed. You'll receive pay through Wednesday, April 3rd. Good luck. See you later. By the way, for those of you who have relocated for this job, we're not paying for you to find your way home. So have fun. That's pretty much what this is. Players and coaches found out like literally mid-practice, like, hey, you know that game we're preparing for this weekend? It's not happening. You know those playoffs we might have been looking forward to for the top half of the league that was going to qualify? They're not going down. You know this team that you've been working so hard to coach and win games for and play for? It doesn't exist anymore. Like that's f***ed up, dude. And on top of that, we're not talking just players and coaches. We're talking about, you know, assistant coaches, people in charge of film and equipment, and those who work with the team that way, and public relations, and, you know, digital media marketing people, the people that do kind of what I do, but they get to do it for a team. Like they get to edit and put together footage and little hype videos, and you don't have a job as of tomorrow. And like I said, the whole bit about not caring if you relocated, a lot of these players have come from different parts of the country to come, you know, give it their all. Imagine not only do you not have the pay that you were expecting, but these guys not necessarily relocated and moved and signed a 12-month lease to play for a team temporarily. Like a lot of these guys are staying out of hotels. And as of Sunday, their hotels will no longer be paid for. They have to figure out how to get themselves and all their stuff back to home, wherever home base is, whether that be driving across the country or booking a plane ticket. Oh, your health benefits are done and null and void at the end of the month. So hopefully you didn't get injured because you can't pay for treatment anymore after April. I mean, it's just like a whole steaming pile of just mess, dude. And all of this, not to put blame on one person, but all of this was basically decided by Tom Dundon, who made the executive decision to axe the league. Yeah, that sucks. Again, why was this decision made or reached to? It is not clear for certain. It was reported that the AAF was working to reach an agreement with the NFL Players Association, which is the NFL Players Union. They were trying to work out an agreement, basically to almost like a two-way contract type of thing, where practice squad guys on NFL teams who weren't seeing active playing time in the NFL could then double time and play in the AAF in the off season to get more reps in, to get more playing time, to get more film out there on themselves, give them an opportunity to play. So that way come the fall, they were either got that additional preparedness, got those game reps that, you know, are just so valuable, especially if you're on the practice squad and not seeing the actual field. You're just kind of getting reps in practice. The counter argument of this, of course, is the extra stuff that isn't as glamorous. Like, so do the NFL team doctors then need to be associated with the AAF? What if our practice squad guy who we're preparing for the future goes to the AAF, gets banged up, comes back? Now, you know, our guy who we were looking forward to developing is now injured and we can't develop him because he went to play for your league. Where you know what I mean, stuff like that, where things get tricky and complicated. Everything I'm hearing is saying Mr. Dundon jumped the gun and said, oh, well, if we don't have that, we can't have the future of the league. Cut it right now. When in reality, you could have negotiated this out the next year or 2 years. There's going to be a new CBA in place. You could have been a part of those talks and negotiations in a year or two. It's just, I don't know. It just feels like there's more that isn't being explained, and we probably won't know the whole situation for the next few weeks, month, 2 months. I mean, shoot, there may be a documentary that comes out in a couple years and we find out everything, you know? But as far as it stands right now, the AAF hasn't technically folded. It still exists. Would take a Hail Mary to somehow get it going again to save the rest of this season, which probably won't happen. Apparently the email going around to AAF or different team staff got put on Twitter. I'm gonna quote a piece of the email that got sent out. As part of this process, we expect to keep a small staff on hand to seek new investment capital and restructure our business. Should those efforts prove successful, we look forward to working with many of you on season 2. As a follow-up to this communication, we will reach out to the personnel who will be involved in that continuation effort. So it doesn't look like they're giving up for good, but as it stands right now, there's a big fat question mark on whether the Alliance of American Football will continue to exist. As of right now, it's done, and that's pretty much gonna do it. For me personally, you know, I'm bummed. I was really a firm believer in maybe not long term, maybe we're not 60 years down the road and we're still talking about the Alliance of American Football. I really thought this league had a chance to just exist, you know? Obviously it wasn't gonna rival the NFL. It's best suited as a complementary league to the NFL. Obviously having some sort of solidified working agreement with the NFL as like maybe a farm system type of thing. I think that's kind of what was being intended to be, to give those second chance guys a chance to prove themselves and move their way up to the NFL. With that not happening, obviously that kind of crippled it, but at the same time it's not like it was out of the cards, and I think really the identifying mistake here is lack of patience. That's the way I see it. And for me, as someone who identified myself as a Fleet fan, it was nice to have football back in San Diego. And you know, that's a bummer, because it was, here's this team that everyone from San Diego could get excited for, you know? So that's a bummer. As always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts on this were. I mean, we'll see. Everything's just up in the air. We'll see if this is the end of the Alliance. We'll see if this is the end of, you know, this particular spring football league. We'll see what happens next. And we'll see what actual information comes out on why this decision was made, because everyone, including those involved with the league, are still in the dark on a lot of information. With that being said, I'm gonna get on out of here. This has been your boy Dizzy, and I will see you guys in the next one, and peace.